Leader Thursday. My name is Suzanne Kessel. I'm the founder of the Sparkle Factor, and our Thought Leader Thursday shows are all about featuring someone who's just thinking differently about the world as they see it in whatever field they find themselves in. And today, holy moly, I am so excited because this dear soul that has been a part of my life for a number of years and is really rocking and writing some amazing content on the screen, off the screen, the lovely Roy Parker is here. So Roy, thank you for
Uh,
being here. I am so thrilled to be shooting you today. You are in your LA basin. I am in the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex, and I love that you're coming home as a Fort Worth son in this time. Bro, he is a graduate of the USC School of Cinematic Arts, where he was doing incredible work. He's a working screenwriter in Hollywood. Now, notice I say he's not an out of work screenwriter. He is a working screenwriter. He has worked with Team Downey. He's worked for Studio 8 Films. He's also worked for Netflix, and now he's doing his own gig as an award-winning film screenwriter person. Roy Parker, hi, how are you?
that was a much better bio than the one I wrote you, so that's fair.
Well, you truly are a stunning wordsmith. And the way that you are able to capture the human story and emotional journey of people is really remarkable. And to watch the growth that you've had from your early films to Calvin Ball that won a ton of awards. Check it out. People, if you're watching, you can find it on Netflix. So be sure and be tracking the work that he's doing. But I really was hoping that you would kind of talk to us a little bit about how you're collecting the story problems you're seeing in the middle of COVID health. Like, how are you navigating that world?
Well, that's a good question. I think a lot of the stuff that is about the ideas that you come to during this crazy time in the world are sort of twofold. One is this really a story that people are going to care about after everything is done?
Right.
Because all of our priorities are different now. All the things that we care about are different. And, watching something that has, a problem that seems sort of menial, or why is this a big deal? Why do we care about this? There's so many other things going on in the world. That could maybe feel disingenuous after we get out of all of this. But on the flip side, the other thing that I've been trying to think about more is, I think the reason that people go to the movies is escapism. The reason that we do any art is escapism. And so most of the ideas that I'm trying to think about now are really things that I'm like, okay, what would be just a fun time at the movies? What would be just like something where we could really go and really not have to think about what the world is looking like, and being able to bring back that sense of, you're not just stuck in your house right now. There's like this fun, fanciful thing that you can go and get yourself into. So, yeah.
So when you're thinking about that and you look at, because I know you are a film history buff and you've spent a lot of your formative years really looking at some of the really great nuggets of film and what they were trying to communicate and how then their story continues to transcend time. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at kind of the apocalyptic journey that humanity finds themselves on, because they do often, there is an unraveling in society of something. And then you see what gets made in an artful way in telling stories. What are you noticing from what has been to what is showing up now?
That's a great question. I think that what is what you're seeing is that everything has an equal and opposite sort of reaction. And that's always happened with art and with film. The fact that, you can go back to the beginning of film, but you can also go back to something, this is still kind of old, but as recent as like, Godzilla, the original Godzilla movie was a reaction to the atomic bomb and all that stuff. And now we have, 80 Godzilla movies. But and the interesting thing about, I don't know why I'm talking about Godzilla, but Godzilla's always sort of like, has always come back at the time when we've needed something to like reflect on what we're doing, and the only way we can do that is with a big giant lizard. I think it will be very interesting to see things that come out from this time that are reflective of the pandemic, that are reflective of the Black Lives Matter movement, that's reflective of obviously the political climate. All of those things are so interesting. And I think there's already, not removing it from the pandemic, but just talking about sort of the past sort of like 4 years and stuff, you look at something like Get Out, which was being made before the current president was in the White House, and then came out at just such a perfect time that it felt like it was about right now, which it is, but it just resonated in such a way. And then the flip side of it is one of the last movies that came out this year before everything shut down was this movie called The Hunt, which is like conservatives and liberals killing each other, like literally. And that movie didn't get a very good response. And it's the, whereas Get Out did, and it's that sort of like, oh, at some point the mirror is, we can only handle so much of the mirror in like a way. Get Out was reflective in a way that we could digest. And I think The Hunt, I like The Hunt, but I think The Hunt for most people was reflective in a way that made people feel ugly, and so they rejected it. They didn't like it. But I think that coming out of now the pandemic and everything, it will be very interesting to see. I mean, you don't want to see a movie that like has an agenda, or is shoving its agenda down your throat. But you want to see something that definitely has something to say, and that's the balance that I think every creative person is trying to figure out, which is like, I definitely want to say something, but I don't want to feel like I'm literally spoon feeding it to you, because you're going to feel annoyed by that. And so that's why movies like Get Out, and then and this year's Best Picture winner Parasite, those movies work because they have something to say, but they're wrapped up in a movie that is so wildly entertaining that you walk away, one, having had a good time, which is always the most important thing of any kind of entertainment. You want to entertain. That's what you're supposed to do. But then it feels like you have learned something and something has been said to you, which is exactly what you want, and not something that is like, the point of this is to make you feel and to make you and all that stuff. No.
So is there any advice that you might give to us in our last couple of minutes of how to kind of curate those kind of holiday movie-ness that we might have as part of our rituals in a kind of a different way? Like, what are you hearing? What ideas might you have for us?
Yeah, that's also a good question. I mean, there's definitely, if you want to see new things, and I definitely love watching new things, I think that they're definitely just look to, what's coming out on Netflix in November, what's coming out on Amazon in November. There's definitely there are big things that are coming out. There are a lot of great things that have already come out that are new this year that, because everything's going to VOD, sometimes you can sort of forget that, like, oh, that's out and I can rent that or something like that. So, there should probably already be, if not yet, but soon, best of the year lists that will be mindful of the fact that most of these things most of those things on this list are things that hopefully you can be able to watch from your home. So check that out. Like a movie like First Cow, which is an amazing movie about one of the first cows in the early ages of America, and it's a little sort of tender story about the man who takes care of the cow. It's a beautiful movie. That's out. You should go see that. But also, like, the best thing about, if you're a movie watcher in this pandemic, is that you can kind of give yourself little projects and little goals that you want to get through. So, like, if you haven't seen all those movies on the top AFI 100 list, like, it's a good thing to go through, and a lot of those will feel great in Thanksgiving and the holidays, because that's got It's a Wonderful Life and Miracle on 34th Street and stuff like that. But also, if you've never seen Citizen Kane, you should watch Citizen Kane. It's amazing. Just give yourself like a little project. If there's a director that you've always wanted to see all of his or her work, do that. Those are good things, because it also makes you feel productive, like you're checking things off a box, which is great.
Yes, which I think we need to give people things to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Roy, this has been amazing, and I just have one little thing, and for everybody checking this out today, if you want to connect with Roy, you need to comment to me below, and I will get you guys connected, because that's the way that we're doing this particular segment. But Roy, I know that one of the things that I adore about you, I mean, I've known you for a long time and we've eaten together, we've been in each other's houses.
Yeah.
It's been a long journey of love between us. But you put out your own quarterly, I think, quarterly lists of what you're watching, and you watch everything, whether it is slapstick and meaningless to like gonna be up for an Academy Award list.
I think you're saying I things that are good and bad. Yes, I watch the bad things too.
You watch them and then you rank them and you continue to rank. So as things are constantly moving and shaking. So when could we maybe expect your next iteration of that goodness?
Well, the next list will be the end of the year list. So once we hit the end of the year, it'll be the list of everything, every new release that I saw this year in the order of how I like them. And I've already seen. I know people don't think movies are coming out still this year, but I've seen 100 new movies already this year, and we still got a couple more months to go. So that list will come out probably at the top of the year next year, and there's good stuff out there. Like there are really great movies out there, even though movie theaters aren't open. But there are really good things out there that you can watch from home. So find them. Yeah.
Great. This has been such a pleasure for me. I mean, it really is an honor that you would give us a little bit of time into the magic of your brain. So thank you so much. And everybody, we will check you out on the next Thought Leader Thursday. This is Roy Parker. I'm Suzanne Castle, and we will see you soon. Thanks. Bye.